to Farming Simulator 19. Okay. How many mods? Done a forwarder trailer. Probably need that eventually. Oh. Okay, there's a cultivator. I'm so tired right now. I went bowling and then I walked on the treadmill for a mile. I'm just... So I had a plot that I was going to set up for this that involved the government subsidy, but I might do it 15 hour. We're on normal mode though. I don't know. Hi, I've been playing Kerbal Space Program, so I'm not used to the controls really. I'm a bit rusty. Just kidding. I already planted them. Planted it. Being corn. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to do something a bit I don't know, I just want to use the thing for like an in-game day, maybe not even. I don't know, maybe there's like a bomb or something, you know. It seems to be hot in the news. Not recently, but overall it seems to be pretty hot on the news. Oh yeah, I might replace our bags and stuff with these boys. Honestly though, it's worth the convenience of it being right there, although we're right next to the shop. What sucks is there isn't a lime one. There's all these other ones. What is this? Oh. Well. You know, when we get our government subsidy money, which at the end of the day it should probably be about $1 million, because the government's afraid it's gonna blow up and knock rocks down to our fields that they'll have to come clean up or something like that. This game is so weird. Like, if you just watch the fertilized section, it goes woo, woo, woo. It's like, really. But yeah, hopefully with the maybe $1 million, we get goodbye self-propelled sprayer. Specifically this one. I actually liked this. I know I never used it much in any of my series because it was so expensive, and like money was just like hard to come by at that point. I could get that, but why? How much corn is in here? And we could do missions like that. I've learned to do that really quick at this point. Oh, crap. Get out of the way, you slow car. I was thinking about getting a Satex side panel because I watched this video and this guy hooked it up to his PS4 and PS4 Pro, and it freaking worked. I was like, I kinda want one, because all I'd have to really do is, one, completely get used to the new buttons. It'd be cool if the Satex, oh God, flight control things worked. That'd be so cool. It'd just be like, pull back. Oh, son of a man. Okay, you know, I'm not expecting this. It's freaking Thursday evening. Oh, by the way, I might stream tomorrow because I won't be eating out because we had to eat out today. So. Alright, where does this... Oh, man, I'm still getting used to these stupid controls. I have to invert the Y. The Y look. I just... 'Cause that's how it is in Kerbal Space Program. I can't not mess with the Kerbals. Okay. What was that, like 30,000 or something? I don't know, we could check exactly how much it was. $22,775. So, not a bunch, not a bunch. At the end of last episode, I kind of debated, you know, should I get horses? You know, they're worth a ton of money and all I have to do is sit there and feed them. Which wouldn't be hard. And after we get the government subsidy money for the fake bomb that's on the hill, you know, maybe we could buy the land that goes with Field 20 and maybe I don't know. Actually, crooked. Oh, alright, well. Guess we can just wait till the light comes out. Okay. Sick of this, like, hill section. This, Oh, I thought I got it, but You know, I like having the steering wheel there just for, like, long jobs on bigger maps, because I like to kind of do that on my own and not use a worker sometimes, if I'm not streaming or recording or doing something special, because, you know, I take my time with stuff, but if I'm streaming or something, you know, I gotta keep people interested, and it's not exactly the easiest thing to do when you're sitting there just boring people by going up and down a field. I know bigger YouTubers do stuff and then they're like, oh yeah, I must respond here, and then they sit there and respond to messages, but you know what? I don't have that ability because, you know, just a smaller channel. Actually, to help myself, just give myself a bit of a guide here to where the field actually is. Oh, this is like that weird mud texture on Estancia La Pacha. I hate that texture. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's just, the water of it, like the watery color in a bit of it, is like, it's really off-putting. Because you're sitting there trying to design a map. You know, it'd be nice to have just a flat plane for a map. That'd be awesome. You could sit there and terraform it and everything, and you go to shade it and color it in, and you get that ugly color down, and you're like, I hate that, and then used to this. Down is up. Down is up. Up is down. Left and right's left and right, so it's fine. This is ridiculous how we still do not have any maps. Like, I wish Giants would just, even if a map has a couple bugs in it, would just pass it, because somewhat they can just update it to fix the bugs and stuff. Like, this is absurd. I think there's there's been something like 20 or 30 maps already submitted, and they've all been rejected, clearly. Because there's no maps in the PC mod hub that aren't in, like, beta or anything. So that's just absurd to me, to be honest. Because I want some maps. Like, this time 2 years ago when FS17 launched, or when FS17, or when I got it, there were maps out. And just the fact that there isn't anything out currently is kind of like, it's kind of off-putting, you know. If I knew the game was going to be like that, I might have waited a couple months until I saw maps flood the mod hub, and then I'd be like, I'd be more inclined to buy it. But right now my $50 stands at about $0 in payback. Well, maybe a bit for Estancia Lapacho, but... But I paid like $30 or whatever for that map anyway. So what do you think the first DLC is gonna be? I mean, I hear a lot of people talking, oh, John Deere, but I'm like, like, John Deere kind of, they have stuff in the game, but I'm thinking maybe a bit later they'll have like a John Deere DLC. Because I think there's like 4 or 5 DLCs that are coming out. But I wanna know your guys' thoughts on what the first one might be. Honestly, it'd be nice to have some like Kubota, but I think they're saving that until like the big expansion. So like whatever this next one's gonna be, if it follows right, it should be like Titanium Edition, because they set like a level for themselves. I forget which game it started, but one of their games was like Gold or Titanium or something. So I think they'll go back to that, or maybe add a new one like Diamond Edition or something. But I definitely think Kubota is going to be in the game, whether it's its own separate DLC or part of the bigger expansion. The world may never know, but it'd have to be a really small map if it's meant for like Kubota, because their tractors, like, they look beefy, but even some of their bigger ones are only like a couple hundred horsepower. And they look like the Fiat tractors. Well, not really that they're like that boxy or anything, but I don't know, just Kubota's nice, but they don't really need to be in the game. I mean, I guess it would unlock the opportunity to have some smaller tractors and stuff in the game, which might be nice. Because the only... yeah, Giants definitely did have to fight with them to get the brand in, which is why I think the way the game works is you buy in stocks, and if you have a certain percentage of stocks, your brand gets in. And I want to say John Deere probably bought a big chunk of stock, so they were like, well, let's add your brand in. But yeah, definitely they are only in for the money. Because I don't know why else they would want to be in here. Because they knew if they finally put John Deere in, they could probably get a few $1 million out. So... But yeah, there's already tons of speculation going around about what the big DLC is gonna... Yes, I did know New Holland took over Ford tractors. Actually, Ford, New Holland, and, I don't want to get this wrong, Case are actually one brand. They're all one brand. And I want to say it's New Holland Agriculture, but I could be wrong. But yeah, all three are actually brands. They're all under one roof. But Ford, after Ford got bought out, they didn't keep producing tractors, so really New Holland took it for nothing. They might have gone on for like a couple extra years making tractors, but for the most part that I know of, Ford stopped making tractors after they got bought out. But yeah, some of the speculation concerning the big DLC that comes out for every single game is like carrots and like onions or something. Yeah, Agco bought them out. Challenger, Fenton, Massey Ferguson. Yeah, Agco was like, Which, can you get a Massey Ferguson Agco? Like, oh yeah, you can. Yes. But the engines are probably built overseas, so... Because why employ all that hard labor when you could just have it built in a completely different country that pays like 2 cents an hour for their workers? But there's no possible way John Deere could ever get bought out because it's just too big of a company. It's like Amazon. Like, no agriculture business physically has the money to outbuy them in stocks and bids. Just because, I mean, the stock price is immense to even get like one stock. I mean, it's probably not as steep as Dow Jones, but, you know, still quite a bit of money you're shelling out for, like, 0.01 or 1% of your of John Deere. Like, it's not even really worth it to buy a percentage of it because, I mean, you probably won't. I mean, you'll make it back, but you'll just have to sit with 1% forever because the company, I think, is almost bought out by, like, certain people. So it's only a matter of time before it comes under new management. Yeah, you're right. I think New Holland, though, does have a decent chunk of John Deere stock, because I think they want to buy them out. I mean, I would want to buy out John Deere, too. I mean, if I could have the largest agricultural machinery company under my wing, I mean, just imagine the amount of money you could make off of that. I mean, you'd be racking in, like, millions extra a year on top of the millions you've already got. I mean, I can understand why other companies want to buy out John Deere, because it's useful to their profit. Not a big fan of that whole, like, skid thing the tracks do. It's like, scourge. It's kind of annoying. 747. Yeah, onions, or not onions, carrots definitely wouldn't be bad to add into the game, but onions, I mean, I guess you could. I mean, at that point, you've only got a few other crops that you can actually put into the game before it starts to turn into, like, oh, I'm actually running an empire now. I'm not playing a farming simulator. I'm running an actual physical empire. Like, if they had the ability, or if you had the ability to buy, like, apple orchards, or, like, orchards of any kind, I mean, it would turn into a monopoly. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you can't have a game that's like that, because you could sit there, hire workers, and then, just have them pick the crops, and then the yields turn over again and again and again. You know, at that point it turns into a monopoly, and then this game isn't even a game anymore. But I mean, there's a few extra things they can add, like rice and, of course, carrots and onions. You know, but there's not much else that can be added into the game. Which is sad. I really think they took too many steps too quick. They added too many crops at once. You know, one game there was like 3 crops, the next there was like 6, so maybe they could have kept one crop out and put it in like a DLC or an expansion or something. Well, with like the Homer DLC, or not the Homer. Yeah. John Deere's been around a lot longer, so it has a higher reputation than a lot of other companies. So, well, I mean, their reputations are about the same, but John Deere is a bit more trust than the average American. Unlike other brands. Although a lot of your other brands, like Massey Ferguson, New Holland, and Fendt, they're really more like European brands. The only, like, true American brand, I guess, would still be John Deere. I think in YouTube videos I see more of those tractors than I do around where I live. And those tractors would definitely be cheaper to buy than John Deere's. Don't mind me, cars, I'm just emptying my grain into a hopper or bin. What's like Lamborghini, it didn't start out as a car company, it started out as a tractor company. Which, I mean, you wouldn't believe it looking at the company the way it is now, making exotic vehicles, but at one point it did make tractors. Alright, now we can just drop this here. Oh, engine's off. Alright, how much could we get for this? 30,000. I don't want to have to shell out a ton of extra money. 4.16. Alright, well, I guess we're gonna stay with this one for a bit because I don't want to shell out any extra money. Fucking America's biggest cheapskate. Well, this is Europe, so Europe's biggest cheapskate. This farmer won't buy a bigger cultivator. Why? He's cheap. Alright, I've given up. I've given up. I'm just not gonna worry about it. I know we're gonna have like a significant yield loss right here, but I don't care. I just don't care. Biggest yield loss will be right there. Yeah. I'm still getting used to these controls. You think I'd be used to them? I played Kerbal Space Program for 3 episodes and then for 3 days straight because I kept trying to make a plane and the plane wouldn't work. Just the plane wouldn't fly. You know, I think the world would run a lot better on communism. Because everything's controlled under one type of government. You don't have multiple governments fighting. Although, probably wouldn't be best under communism. I mean, look what happened to Russia. They had a huge drop in their economy. But if the whole world was a communist country, then you won't have a dip in the economy because everybody will be making stuff. Everybody gets a job. Nobody can apply for disability if they can work. I mean, I think the only way you could probably apply for disability under like a communist country like ruling would be if your arms and legs are like chopped off or something. Or you can like physically not move yourself anywhere. That'd probably be where the line is drawn, but what am I to say? I like this tractor. I mean, it's nice because of the fact that you can change it between 3 different brands. The only thing sucks is that it's a mod. You know, I'm thinking about it. Mr. Sealy Pete, he's gotta work like a night job or something to be up and then like right when those mods come out, because half the time I get home and the mods that he showcases, there's one or two missing. Like there was at one point there was a scarecrow, and I was like, what? Yeah, but I'm talking under like communist rule. I'm saying like your arms and legs are chopped off, like you physically can't move yourself. That's what I'm saying, like, under, like, disabled. I'm sure if you were, like, a paraplegic under a communist rule, you could work. They consider you able-bodied, being able to work. But yeah, there's tons of jobs that have, or there's tons of places that have jobs for like paraplegics and disabled people. you know, if they come out with like an old machinery pack and a big map or so, like I'm talking like huge, like American Midwest huge, I'd like to take the old machinery and just drive it and like farm on that, like pretend it's like late 1800s, like early to like mid 1900s, you know, where you got smaller machinery, everything's like really small, your plows are small, your cultivators are small, and it takes you like 3 weeks to cultivate and plow your fields and seed them, and you know, that'd be cool. I would say, oh, that'd be nice to do in Seasons Mod, but Seasons Mod is a bit harsh for that. Although you could crank it up to like 29 days, and that would give you a ton of time. That gives you almost a month. Well, this is our third time since the first episode, which was like a couple days ago. Probably like 4 days ago now, that we've cultivated this field. What is that on the back? Oh, it's just a sticker. It says Amazon or Amazon. It's been a while since I've seen a car on this road. Yeah, I've got a ton of them suckers around my house. Well, I got toads, 'cause I live in the forest. Worst problem is my dogs like to grab them and bring them in and bring them up, and I got 3 cats, and they bring up stuff in the summertime, and summer's not exactly the best time for me. I mean, first I'd like to get to spring, because at this point it's like how cold is it at my location? It's 10 degrees. It's 10 degrees Fahrenheit at this point where I live. That's cold. I live near some fields. They're like, I could walk to them. It'd take me like 5 minutes to walk there. So I think it's like 1/8 of a mile up the road. And they're not like huge fields like you probably live around. I'm talking like maybe like, I gotta think here because I go past these fields every single day. Do I look at them? No. Do I really pay attention to their size? No. I'd say maybe like 1/2 mile by 1/2 mile, like tops field size for the area. So you're looking like field 12-ish. Yeah, it was like -40 in Minnesota recently. I was like, oh my god. I mean, here in Pennsylvania, tops I think it got was -20, and that was like late at night, so like no one's really up. So, I mean, it's kind of around the time that they advise you don't go out and just, like, for no reason. Like, if you have to go to work, well, that's a different story than, oh, I wanted to go out and get some donuts or something. You know, they tell you don't go out for stupid reasons for a specific reason, because it's cold, there's ice, but here in Pennsylvania, it never gets, like, too warm. I mean, like, in the late summer, so, like, August, when the pools really start warming up, you're, like, maybe 100, like, 105, maybe. I mean, on the rare occasion, yeah, it's pretty cold out over there. I think here, like, during the day, it's supposed to get up to, like, 16 in the morning, and then, like, mid-afternoon, it's, like, 20. So, still freezing. It's still freezing. Let's see, this whole week I had, like, 2-hour delays for school, so it was, like, Thursday, Wednesday, and Tuesday. Monday was like, oh yeah, we're getting, like, really, really cold weather. I can't actually remember if I had off on Monday or not. No, I had a half day. I came home, like, partway through the day. That's what it was. So, hopefully, tomorrow, I'll have a full day of school. I mean, it'll definitely be something to adjust to because of the schedules being messed up, like, this whole week. So, it'll definitely be something to get used to. I know a lot of schools in my area canceled, but our school really can't do a cancellation because it cuts into our spring break. So, which is like 4 days anyway. So, if it cuts down, it'll be like 3 days, and that's like a Friday or a Monday, and they count the weekends too. So, if we lose like 1 day, it's really... Yeah, it's probably even colder up there. Honestly, I'd hate to see how cold it gets in, like, the Dakotas, because they're farther north. Honestly, I don't even know. Let's see how cold it is in Quebec, Canada. How cold is it in Quebec, Canada? It's -4. Let's see if it'll recognize Saskatchewan. How cold is it in Saskatchewan, Canada? Oh, it's 12 degrees. They're, like, living the high life in Saskatchewan. Unlike Quebec, which is -4 degrees. This is crazy. Yeah, I want to say my live stream on Monday was, like, around 1. Like, so I got home around, like, 12:30. I got myself something to eat. Even though I had lunch at school, it just didn't feel right to come home and not eat something. Oh, I got a Hot Pocket, because I remember I did a building the Minecraft world thing. And I figured, yeah, I'm not laying over, it was something like 8,000 blocks. But then, like, on a large world or something, it was, like, over 1 million. Or it was close to, like, 2 million blocks or something. I don't know. It was crazy. And I said no. Alright. Oh, that's what that is. Right. No. Up. Up, you moron. Okay. Beneficial to know. I mean, I knew this, the windows and stuff, and or the window and door opened. because someone covered that in their video. I forget who it was. I think it was FS Club. Covered it in his video that the door and the window, back window, opened. I think he called it a sunroof or something, but that's not right. I love this cedar. I don't know why, it just looks really cool. Even though it's just a cedar. Oh. I don't know why I'm expecting it to just start going. It's an air cedar, it's not gonna do that. Oh my god. It's almost been an hour. It's 8:09. I would replace my seed bag operation with a... I can't see where I last sowed. Okay. I would like to replace my seed bag operation with a placeable operation thing, but it's not really worth it when the seeds are like less than a mile away. In most cases, unless you're in field like 4, the seeds aren't a mile away. Yeah, seed 4. Field 4, not seed 4. I really like the dedication of people that make those like really cool spreadsheets and then share them on Reddit for people to look at. It's mainly after like updates and stuff where they changed something major. There's new spreadsheets that come out from like Google Sheets and was it Microsoft Form or something like that. Excel, that's what it is. My mom uses that all the time for her work. And I don't know why they don't use Chrome. I mean, it's much harder to do stuff on Excel, but, you know, whatever. Well, I guess I've never really taken to learning it. It's just all the teachers, like, would prefer you to use anything Google over... Yeah, I know. Just, FS Club said it wrong. He called it a sunroof when really it was the back window or something like that. Sunroofs are nice on a car, like when you can have them open on like a nice summer day, but they're a pain to like put back into place. You know, you always see where they just, it's open and it's closed, but the powered ones, like where it dips down and dips up or whatever, yeah, those things are a pain. I was messing with the one in my mom's car and I was like, ugh, why won't you go back up into place? And I was like, this is insane. And then it ended up raining and leaking through the roof of the car because it wasn't shut right. Yeah, I would call mine jammed because I I mean, we don't mess with it ever. Like, we never open it. But I think the most practical ones are the ones where you've got the little thing, the little slider thing that basically closes it off so you can't look up and look out of it, you know. And then you pull that back, and then you can pull the windscreen back. I think those ones are the best because you can always make sure it's latched. Like, you always know it's latched. Because you shut it, all you had to do was pull it forward. Those ones I think are the best. The motorized ones are like, you never know if it's jammed. Well, you won't know if it's jammed until you try it, and then half the time you can't even get it back in the right position, and then, you know, you got water leaking through your roof, and... Oh, that suck. Just open it up and it rains through your roof. That'd suck. Yeah, I don't remember if this was made on easy or normal, but I thought it was made on, like, normal. But that is not what this thing over here is saying. It's saying 150,000, which is easy, and I don't remember starting this on easy. I remember starting it on normal, so either someone messed up their numbers, or I just started this game on easy, or New Farmer, whatever it's called. I prefer Farm Manager as my preferred, like, method of farming. My fucking lips are chapped. It's the worst part about PA winters is, like, you gotta, like, have chapstick on hand. Your lips will, like, dry out like the Sahara Desert. And it only takes a couple of days when it's, like, it's below negatives. And you'll be like, oh, this is terrible. And, I mean, everyone else thinks it's terrible, too, because now they've got the cold, and they're spreading the cold around the school, and I'm sitting in front of someone that has the cold, and it's like, it's like, oh, you got me sick. Which actually happened. I have the cold, but for some reason it's not showing itself. The house might actually be warm for once. Which is kind of like, tell me another joke, because this house is never warm. Oh, that was, were you on? Alright, this is one thing I like using the engine was on? Okay, this is news. Okay, turn. Can we toggle steering mode? Oh, I'm like, oh, did I? Front wheel steer. Alright, this is one of my favorite modes of steering because I feel like I have the most control. And what am I doing? This isn't gonna work. There isn't a tractor attached. I might as well just take this back to the store. These bags are nice because you can carry one bag, which is the equivalent to 2 pallets. But it's the same price as 2 pallets, which, I don't know, it's not really off-putting, but I really don't like it. Oh my god, it's like violently shaking. Okay, back out. There we go. And I probably don't need this anymore. Is this? Are you serious? Nothing, does anything move? Oh, come on. That sucks. I remember how Giants reeled people in. They were like, oh my god, everything in cab is gonna move. And you're like, the ignition key isn't moving. Yeah, I can't even see the ignition. Like, on a lot of the newer tractors in the game, the only way to tell if it's on or off, because they're so quiet, is to actually look at these screens. Because, okay, what is running? Something is running. No. It's this stupid thing. Stop the engine. This is absurd.
Shower, bud.
Yeah.
Hurry up, it's ice cream night.
Okay. I don't know about this whole inverted controls thing. Did you know that the Satex side panels work with the PS4? It's quite an interesting fact. I mean, you really wouldn't think they do, but they don't work for... They don't work for 17, but it works for 19. There was a whole video on it. I can't remember. It appeared in my feed. It was like, I'm going through my YouTube feed, and I'm like, what the heck is this? And some guy was testing to see if the side panel would work on the PS4, and it does, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Does this work? No. Darn, that would have been cool. They were actually a bit around the back here. What's this? This is... looks like kind of grass seed or something. Like, pointless doors. High voltage... oh, never mind, they're not pointless doors. Looks like it might rain. There's just a slight hint of cloud in the sky. Okay, that's starting to kind of freak me out that the tractors are running on their own. Oh, the lights go on, like all of the lights. Like the check engine light, like when you actually turn a real car on. Because who doesn't like driving?
Dean's in.
I know. Go this way. Okay, it's the wrong direction. Trying to go up and see the castle because I haven't been there yet. Stay away from them lamppost thingers. They'll grab onto your tires and shred them to bits, because that's how metal works. Yeah, buddy, just... You know what? All these rude drivers in FS19. Can't take these guys. Oh, those are even the cars I overtook. Okay, I know where I'm at now. Just bearing off from... We literally just circled the entire map, and I could not find a way. How do you... I guess we gotta consult the map. Screw this, I'm gonna find my own way up. This is like Skyrim, you know, just find a place to start and drive. You're bound to find a road at one point that'll lead up. If it has a skull and crossbones on it, it means it's perfectly safe to go on. Don't worry, and no worry about nuclear danger or anything. Oh, look, here's the road that we're going on. Like I said, just start climbing the mountain. Climbing the mountain past as we go. I'm telling you, suckers will grab your tires. This thing is terrible because I've got one hand free, as I've got the other one on the controller. Like, I'm using a foot and two hands to drive this thing. Anybody realize how much cut content Giants was like, oh, we'll put this in, oh, we'll put this in, and like, you get to launch and you're like, well, where the heck's all this stuff at? And they're like, well, due to severe budget cuts and lack of workers, we just couldn't put it in. It's like, oh. The single most, I'm not even joking, this is the single most expensive field on the entire map. It's the smallest field in the game, alright? $3 million. Could you imagine dragging equipment up here, though? Like, that'd be a pain. I'm just gonna pull in here. Probably not supposed to park there, but, you know, and I don't care. I'm a privileged farmer. White privilege. It's a complete joke. Because, I mean, I don't think any race should have more power than the other, or than another. Whatever. Alright, I'm gonna end this here, so I'll see you guys maybe a bit later for Kerbal Space Program livestream, but most likely not.